Hello all. In previous video we have discussed about Microsoft Azure accounts. Now in this video basically we are going to see how to create a storage account on Microsoft Azure portal. So first thing we need to go to this link which is portal.azure.com, and if you have not signed up yet you need to create an account for you. Like for me I've already created an account. Like you can use a free trial also. So I'm also using a subscription free trial for now. So there are multiple types of subscription which are available on Microsoft Azure portal. So as per your need, you can create. So we need to create a storage account. So you can see here we have a service listed here as a storage account. If it's not listed here, we can go to search bar and search for storage account. So you can find the storage account here. So first thing, before creating a storage account, first thing, there are few things basically which we need to create first. If I go to create storage account, in a basic details, under basic tab we have project details. So it is asking for subscription. So without subscription you cannot use any services. So you have to take a subscription. Like there are multiple, like for example there's a free trial, then we have a pay as you go model. Like so these kind of what's called subscription we have, so you can take it. And another thing, before creating any resources, first thing you have to create a resource group. Resource group basically it's a collection of all the services which you are going to use. So basically it helps us for billing or grouping the services. So this thing you have to, like for me I have already created a resource group test. So if I need to create a new, I will type demo, click OK. So it will create a new resource group for me. Next thing, we have an instance details. So storage account name. So this name should be unique across the Azure portal. It's not about for my account. It should be unique across the Azure portal. For example, if I type here demo, it will not take because demo is already taken. So we'll type demo 123. Let's see if it's available. It's not available. We'll type 4. 4 is also not available. So I'll type 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is available, it's taken. So this name should be unique across the Azure portal. Next thing is very important, region. So basically there are multiple regions which Microsoft Azure provides. So as per your geographic location, you can choose. Like there are multiple space. So for this tutorial, basically I'm going to use US East to West. Another thing we have already discussed about performance and redundancy. So basically performance is a kind of a storage account, as we discussed, two types, standard or premium. So there are few options which is available under this particular account type. A few are available for this particular account type. If you go standard, it's basically recommended for most scenarios. So most of the cases we use standard one. If you go for premium services, then definitely we need to choose premium storage account type. So for this tutorial we are going for standard one because it's for testing purpose, and detailed explanation I have already provided in my previous video. So again, this redundancy, we have multiple options here. So as per our need we need to choose. So I'm going with local redundant storage options. Next tab is advanced. So under security things, there are few important things which we need to keep in mind. Suppose for example, require secure transfer for REST API options. So this, if we are selecting this option, so if any traffic is coming to our storage account, that should allow only for HTTPS protocol. Apart from HTTPS protocol, it will not allow any traffic on our storage account. So basically for security perspectives, we generally use HTTPS, and as per your need you can select or uncheck or check. If you uncheck it, then from HTTP also you will get a traffic on your storage account. So and another one, we have enable blob public access. So if you select this option, then anybody can have access, like anonymous user basically can get access on your Azure accounts. If you unselect it, then there is other options also which we will see in upcoming video when we discuss about storage services, basically like blob services, those services when we discuss, then that time we will see. So for time being, I'm keeping it check. And again, enables storage account access key. So access key part also we will discuss when we will use, when we will go, when we will learn about the blob services, then we will see this option as well. So for now I'm keeping the everything is default. Again, this TLS versions and all, like if you are using something like using this storage account, like you are calling this storage account from your code and all, then you have to keep maintain some version here. So it's by default it's 1.2 and 3 versions we have. So as per our requirement we can choose the options here as well. Now we have data leak storage Zen 2. So this basically is for like you have heard about big data and all those things. So that time basically we use these options. But this is a demo tutorial, like, so we are not going to discuss about this, but in coming lectures we will discuss about these options. For now it's not required. Again, there are some blob story settings, like if you have to enable SFTP protocols, so those kind of options are there. And most important here is access tiers, which we have already discussed in our previous video. So again, like as per our requirement, like how frequent you are going to access your data, so those options basically we can choose are like hot and cool. We have an archive also, but this is not listed here because we have chosen this region. So there are few services which also depend on this region part. If the few services are not available for a specific region, so we need to also think about it before creating the storage accounts. So Azure file, so here we have option like if you have to create Azure file, like basically it's for large file like 100 TB we can storage. If you click on this icon, you can see 100 TB files maximum limit we have here. So we can, like as per our requirement, we can choose this option as well. Next we have networking. Again, it's a very important things about our security, regarding our security. So you can choose from here, like if you want to allow all the public traffic to your network, to your storage account. If you want to some private endpoints, so those options we can choose here. Like if you see public for all network, public endpoint, like you need to allow a specific IP address, but a specific virtual network you can define here. Private endpoint, again you can define your own at private endpoint, and you can define the specific range basically. So here you can see virtual network. If you have, like for me, I don't have any virtual network, so these settings you can define as per your need. So I'm going for public endpoint for all network, which is just a demo. Routing, so these routing things we can choose, like Microsoft network routing. It's a protocol basically which route the traffic, control the traffic. So internet routing, so those things we can choose as per our requirement. Next we have data protections. I have already covered this in my previous video in very detail. So under data protection we get two options, recovery and tracking. So this is recovery basically if you are, like by mistake or accident, if you are deleted your data, then you can recover it by choosing these options here. So we have for blobs, containers, file shares. These are the Azure cloud service storage services basically, blob, container and file shares. So we can choose accordingly. Tracking also, like if you have to track all the history of your blob files, so you can choose these options. You can see my previous video, I have discussed more detailed about all these things. Next we'll go to encryption. So there is again encryption type, basically how you want to encrypt your data. So those settings you can choose it from here. Now we have tag. So tag is basically help us to like identify the resources. Like you need to define like IT department. Under IT we have multiple departments, and multiple departments are using multiple storage accounts. You have to, like with the help of tag, you can easily identify, okay, which this storage account belong to from this particular department. So those things we can pass. Like for example, if I give here IT1 value test. Next This is just for example I'm giving. Next we'll go to review and create. If something when whatever you have configured from basic to text, if something goes wrong, it will tell you right from here, so you can go back and correct it. So my all the validation got passed, so I'll just click on create. So it will take some time. Meantime, I'm just pausing this video. Once it's completed, we'll be back. Okay, so our storage account has been created. You can see deployment is completed. So we'll go to resource. So this is the name which we have given to our storage account. So under this storage account, as I told you, there are under storage account we will get a lot of Azure data storage services. So all these services part of this storage account. So in coming lecture, basically we will see all these options in very detailed. Like we will keep in the same format. One will be a all theoretical for all these options, and another will be a hands-on for all the services we will do. So we will see in next lecture. Thank you so much.